Hey, what's up guys? In this video I'm going to be turning my Epson ET-8550 that I already use for sublimation into a DTF printer. So let's get into it. Now in one of my previous videos I set this printer up to be used with sublimation ink and it's been running great for over 2 years now. I was originally going to convert my XP15000 to a DTF printer, so I had my supplier build a kit for me, but I just never got around to it. Now I heard that you can't convert these printers to DTF once you run ink through them. And normally that's true because once the ink goes into the tanks, it's pretty much impossible to clean all of the ink out. So to get around that, I'm going to be using Assist for my DTF ink. I'm also going to need syringes, of course DTF film and powder. I'm going to be using a white standalone ink tank with a built-in auger, some tubing elbows, a 7/64 and a 7/32 drill bit, a waste tank chip resetter, a 2-foot by 1-foot large format towel that I got from Lowe's, the smooth, silky, shiny kind, because I want that film to slide. And I got this timer so I can set how long and how often I want the auger to run. And I'll be using the print head cover guard from BCH Technologies to help better waterproof my print head. So the first thing I did was I took the left side cover off so that I can start to remove the rollers. Once I got the left cover off, I took a picture of the wires and cables on the main board just in case anything got disconnected. Then I took the right cover off. Now before I remove my rollers, I'm going to remove the print head so I can put the print head cover guard and the silicone on. Then I'll set the head to the side and finish removing the rollers. Now that the rollers are out, I'll take out the original ink tanks. I'll replace the left side cover. Oh my gosh! And I'll put the print head back in. Before I reconnect the lines, I need to flush all of the old sublimation ink out. So I'm going to take a 7/64 drill bit and using my hand, I'm going to drill out just the tip of the syringe. I'm going to go about halfway up the tip and clean out all of the leftover plastic debris with a dental pick because I don't want to introduce that into the ink system. I'm going to rinse it out with some distilled water and insert a small piece of cyst tubing into the tip of the syringe. I'll drop some of the distilled water and push it into the ink lines and let it run out clear. I did this twice for each of the lines. I also flush out the dampers with distilled water using the same method. And even though the plastic membrane is stained from the sublimation ink, I made sure to get all of the standard ink out. I shook out the excess water and installed them back into the printer. Now that the old ink has been cleared from the lines, I'll reconnect them to the dampers and reinstall the covers. Now to install the cyst. I'll run the lines through the front of the printer and use a tubing elbow connectors to connect the tubing to the existing CMYK lines. In the tubing that comes from the white ink tanks, I connected those to the photo black and the gray lines. Before I replaced the right side cover, I drilled a hole in the back of it with the 7/32 drill bit and pulled the waste ink hose through. I connected it to a tube that goes into a water bottle and that's going to collect my waste ink. And because I'm using that large format tile as a platform, I tipped the printer up and then I removed the output tray. I filled the cyst tanks up with the DTF ink. I filled the white tank up halfway, and to prime the dampers, I filled up the syringe with some white ink and slowly pushed out about 4 mils of ink into the damper. And I'll prime the color dampers by slowly pushing air into the air hole at the top of the cyst tanks. I'll turn the printer on, and before I get started with my power clean, I'll reset my waste tank to make sure I don't run into any errors. And although I can run it from the printer's menu, I use the Wick Reset tool from inkchip.net and select the deep cleaning option. This is going to help get all the old sublimation ink out of the head and replace it with DTF ink. After the power clean, I ran a couple of regular head cleaners from the maintenance menu and performed a nozzle check, which came out good. So I set my towel back in place and I'll continue on with a couple of test prints. I'm using Acro Rip and I'm just going to queue up some of my logos and get them printed out. I'll also print out something with a little bit more color to it. I'll get some powder on them and place them in the convection oven to cure. I went with 320 degrees for about 30 seconds. Then I'll get them pressed onto some shirts. Now, these are some old shirts that I just used to cut the grass in. Just using these for testing. And guys, the colors look amazing and the shirts feel great. So now that it's printing and functioning like I want it to, I place my tanks into this metal basket to help keep the white ink tank from tipping over. It tipped over a couple of times during the setup and it leaks around the fittings and it gets all over the place. I'll wipe down the exterior a little and reroute these lines in the front so I can make a custom cover to hide those holes that were left when I removed the original ink tanks. And then I'll finish it all up by wrapping it up with some cable ties. Finally, I connected the timer to the outlet and plugged in the auger. I have it set to run for 3 minutes about every 30 minutes. Now, I don't know if that's overkill or not, but it's not running constantly and it's not sitting so long that it starts to thicken. And that's it, guys. That's how I was able to take my ET-8550 from Sublimation to DTF. Now, again, I'm brand new to DTF, so if I miss something or if I'm doing something wrong, leave it in the comments and I'll try to fix it. Thanks for sticking around to the end. Again, special thanks to J&J Professional, Kevin and Abby at BCH Technologies, Hangry Muscle, CraftableThings, DTFMasterJay, Iron Designs 813. You are all very much appreciated, and thank you for what you continue to do for the community. If you liked the video, consider subscribing and giving the video a thumbs up. Until next time, guys, good luck and good night.